PowerPoint, I'm gonna share my screen with you. I'm gonna try not to just read off of it and go into detail as we move through it. It should be pretty quick. If you have the guidelines book off of the internet, can you guys see that?
Yeah.
Yes, no, okay. When I did that though, here's the problem is that my little Zoom guy went.
Yeah, mine disappeared. There
it goes, okay. Like, there we go. That way I can see if someone's coming in. Okay, so to give you a little backstory on why we started this program when I got in, I was hired in February of last year. I was in a youth club as myself as a kid. I did a lot of that stuff as a kid. But when I got into it, there was only 6 youth clubs across the country when I took this job. And to me, that was, well, depressing, to be honest with you. So I was trying to find a way, and when I started looking at the club program, it hadn't changed at all in 20 years. So we were trying to figure out different ways to make it more appealing to the clubs to kind of want to be with it. Because I also know, I had run the youth contest in Oklahoma for many years, and we had stopped doing the scrapbook contest, and we had stopped doing a bunch of contests that clubs actually had looked forward to. And then it wasn't there anymore. So I see why it kind of went downhill a little bit. So we created this, and not much has changed. All the core of your club program or group program is in this. You can still do the same things. You don't have to have a structure like president, vice president, secretary, but you still can. It's very, you can conform it to what works for your group the best, if you will. And we added the points program to it because I felt like if we made it a little bit more of a competition, maybe more people would want to join in. And this also made it a little more friendly to everybody, both people who show at the Grand National level or people who have a horse in their backyard and just feed it and love it to death. So that's kind of where this came in. And so I'll run you through, if I can find my mouse here, I'll run you through the slides. I'll go slow-ish. And if you guys have any questions as we go, jump in, yell at me, whatever you want to do. And I'm hoping by the end of it, we'll have all of your questions answered. Let me just make sure, don't mind me, people are also working on things here. Okay. Technology is not my best thing, guys, so just bear with me as we go forward. So what is the TEAMS program? It's an annual competition that's between teams across the country, which were clubs and youth groups, to get kids more involved, to earn points, to learn things, to move forward in the program. And this particular program, and most of our programs moving forward as we've revamped, tie into the other programs, so they will also get points for doing the levels in the merit program or showing in a medal class. Like, we try to roll in all of the youth programs. So now everything's kind of intermingled and you can do things by doing other things and get involved into all of it. So that's that. It's an accumulation of points. And as we move forward into this, we'll kind of show you how they earn points. Like I said, different tasks. So anywhere from showing a horse to mucking a stall earn you points. It's pretty self-explanatory in the log. Do you think so, Christina? Is it pretty, kind of tells you how many you get? I think it says, like, you know, 10 stalls is so many points. And we tried to make it as detailed as we could, but open enough for you guys to mold it to your own. We did change it. So the competition year is starting January 1st. Now, because it's a newer program, we are opening the registration for it until at least the 31st, depending on how many we have interested. The point accumulation will end December 31st of 2021. And after that, we'll add everything up and send you, there'll be winners in different categories, and that's how that's in. Points are turned in quarterly to us. I do suggest that if you have the monthly meetings for your team, you have your kids give you their points monthly. That way you can keep a better track of them. It won't be like at the end of the quarter trying to get everybody's stuff turned in. And then at the quarter dates, you just send them to me. You don't even have to add them. I'll add them for you. Super easy. Team with the most points at the end of the year wins the category that they're in. So small, medium, large, we'll get into that. And then there will be another award going to the highest point individual across the country of any of the teams. Any questions there? Okay. So how many people do you need? Each team needs one adult that has to be an AMHA member, 18 and over. It doesn't have to be a trainer. It doesn't have to be an employee of a farm. It can be a parent. It can be a helper, like those people that just hang around your barn that are awesome and do the volunteer work. It can be one of them. The leader is responsible for organizing the meetings, collecting the points, coordinating events, which the kids can help you with too. But you're just kind of tunneling them into the right direction, if you will. The small, medium, and large teams. Small is 2 to 10. Used to say 0 to 10. Somebody called me on that. Whoops. Medium is 11 to 20, and the large is 21 members and over. It does not all have to be at the same farm. You can, if you live close to different farms, you can. If you live close to different farms, you can all kind of get together and make one big team if you want to do that. Hold on, I just clicked the wrong thing. Here we go. Why aren't you working? Here we go. So import. Uh-oh. Okay, there we go. My voice was having a bad thing. All right, important things to remember when you're starting your team. You need to have at least one team leader. You can also have multiple team leaders if 2 parents want to get together and tag team it, or 3, I'm okay with that. Just make sure you list all of your team leaders and their contacts on your registration form. Once again, they must be 18 years of age and older, and they must be an AMHA member. Now, your team members must also be AMHA members. That being said, it's a big ask because some of these teams are going to be over 20 people or what have you. If they are not a member, we have our merit program last year introduced a brand new, it used to be the horse mastership program. It introduced a new, what used to be called badges, a level called the figure level. It's a beginner level. It's meant for kids, young kids, and it's also only open to AMHA non-members. Now, the trick to this is that if you complete this, it's parts of the horse, some coloring and simple things, and you send it in to me, you then receive a free youth membership for the remainder of the year. So it gets your kids that membership they need, and then they don't have to actually purchase one until next year, so 2021 January. It's a great idea to get the little ones who you're not sure are going to stick with it in. They just color a bunch of horses. It's a lot of fun, and they can then become members. And then you'll get all your kids in. That takes that. There is a $30 registration fee for each team, just one $30 fee that you send in. Pretty much all this pays for is the ribbons, the end of the year awards, that kind of stuff. Like I was saying in the beginning, we are hoping to maybe eventually, if the world opens back up and we have conventions again, maybe we'll have a little banquet and award everybody, but we'll definitely be recognized in our newsletter, on our Facebook page, that kind of stuff. Also on our website, the winners. Have fun with it. It comes up with new ideas, new fundraising ideas, new volunteer ideas. Kind of open. If you have great ideas, send them to us. We'll stick them right in the guidelines. Like I said, it's a new program. We're super open to everything that you guys can think of. Any questions so far? Okay. All right. Slow with the pointy. Here we go. So scoring your team points. There's 2 different kind of points you're going to score for this program. And this is where people get a little bit confused, but it's not that bad once you get the hang of it. Your team will score points doing their thing. So doing fundraising, having meetings, stuff that they all do together. And then your individual team members will earn their own points by grooming a horse, showing a horse, that kind of stuff. And that's what they log and hand to you. And as the leader, you will take care of the team point log. Once again, at each meeting, we recommend that you get their logs so that it keeps everything kind of simpler, easy to maintain. The end of the quarter, you can send them into us. So I would say our quarters are going to be like April, last day in April, last day in June, keep it for, 3 months as we go, or last day in March. So the team points and the individual points will be sent into us at the end of the quarter. And the way we're gonna award the points is that we actually add your individual points and your team points into one lump sum for that quarter. That's how we decide what team is leading the pack. At the end of each quarter, AMHA will post an email, the leaderboard, on the team points. So you'll probably see that on Facebook and probably the teams page on the website. I've been trying to keep up to date with that. And then once again, there'll be an award for the individual member across the country who earns the most points of everybody, to give them a recognition for their hard work. Any questions there? Okay. So how do you score points? So individual points that they get, they fill out their points log. I'm kind of beating around a bush here, but I'm trying to make it so it's easy. They get them signed off by a team leader. So how do you know that they did that? Well, you kind of have to trust them. You know that they were at the barn on Tuesday, helping walk with lessons. So you kind of have to trust that they did that. They are accumulative. So if you're on the youth, if you have a member that is on the youth council, because that gets points, and they're the president of the youth council, that also has points accumulation. And yes, you can add them both in. So I think, Christina, you had a question today and asked, so Gretchen was in the Grand National Contest as a participant. She gets points for that, but she also got reserve champion in the long run. Did she get points for that on top? Yes. So you can add both of those point scores together. Bring them on, bring on the points, whatever you think you can go. The other question too is, one thing that's on there is if they were an AMHA member or a member of 4-H, you get points for that. That only counts once a year because you're renewing your membership. So ways they can get individual points: be on the youth council, serve as a member, serve as an official, serve as president, any kind of that, gets a certain amount of points. It's all in the points log in your guidelines. Doing the merit program, any completion of the levels, they get points. Youth of the Year participation in local contests and the Grand Nationals, winning, placing, volunteering to help. We put all that kind of stuff in. Volunteering their horse for the judging contests, get points doing that, any kind of interaction there. If they show in the medal program, both silver and gold, if they place, if they win. In Grand National this year, we will be having something called a medal mixer. If they attend that, they'll get points, and or they help me set stuff up, they will also get points for that. We are looking for free help around here. Horse shows, if they show, they place, anywhere, regionals, Grand Nationals, local shows, if they groom at shows, and then there's a time frame in there to see how many points count for how many days. If they help to promote the programs at the shows, if they're there and they can kick around and help people, volunteer to assist with Grand National activities, that kind of stuff, points for everything. Team participation, if they attend a team meeting, which they should be every month, they get points for that. Volunteer to assist, attend functions, each time you get a point, or however many points is on the list. If they promote the Morgan in their school, if there's a assignment that comes around and they decide to use horses for it, which I've learned having this job, a lot of kids do. If they write a report, or if they do a speaking report, or they even draw a picture of a Morgan, we can use that as points. We just have to see the proof of it. Community service with non-horse affiliations or horse affiliations. Community service events in their town, doesn't have to have anything to do with horses. And then the UPHA Ribbons of Service program, if they're part of that, they also get points. Same thing, club affiliations. If they're a member of any of these breed things, 4-H's, FFAs, get points for that. And just stuff around the barn. This is the giant list when you look at your guidelines. Riding lessons, grooming, walking with new beginners, helping with lessons, bathing, clipping, mucking, all of it. You get points for all of it. So, any questions there? Okay. Your team points. How does your team earn points as a whole? Any community service project, you can volunteer as a team to work somewhere for the day, help in a community event. I was thinking maybe hold a horse wash at a local barn, something fun. You don't have to make money, but if you're already doing something to raise money for your team or your club, because I know a lot of clubs did that, that counts. Volunteer at an organization, at you know, a shelter or anything, that counts as well. And then breed promotion, if you make your own, if you organize your own youth contests, because I don't know if a lot of you know, but it doesn't have to be at a horse show to be a registered youth contest. You can organize a booth at an equine convention, all that kind of stuff. What else? General team meetings. If you work on levels, you get points. Work at the barn on team projects, you get points. Creating a community project. Also stuff for team promotion, you record the history, you can do a scrapbook. I know that someone was gonna do last year a website for their team, an educational display. If we do get a lot of scrapbooks and displays, we will display them at the Grand National if everybody wants us to do that. We should have a booth actually in the main hall this year coming up, so a little more eyeballs on that. So any questions on points so far? Recording. Okay. So how do you start your team? Super simple. You fill out the team application, which you can get individually on the website, or you can get, it is also in the guidelines on the website as well. Make sure you include all your team members and their age and email and their AMHA number. If they're not an AMHA member yet, and we're gonna work on the figure badge to do that, just give me a little clue and a hint that that's the plan. And then I'll give you a couple weeks to get that done. Make sure they're sent in probably by the next month, and we'll go from there. Okay. Send it to me, super easy. Send in your quarterly points to me. Category sheets are available. So if you're having trouble doing the logging of your points and you're finding it confusing, I have kind of broken them down into sheets for the categories. So I found last year during the winter time, they liked the barn sheet where they could just log in their barn stuff. And then when show season came, they got the show sheet to bring to the horse show with them to log their points while they were there. So I do have those. And that's it for that. Now, I also want to say a couple of added excitement is that State Line Tech has given us a promotional idea. So any team member of your new team will receive a $10 gift certificate if they spend over $50 at State Line Tech. So that will come to with your membership sign up. I think I hit it all. It's question time. What didn't I hit? What doesn't make sense? That kind of stuff. Yes.
So where do we find this on the website? Is it under the youth programs? Like if we just look up the program, like all this info?
It is. Let me see if I can screen share with you while I can get on the thing so I can show you right where it is. Bear with my very slow technology problems here. Here we go. See if I have the website up. I don't, but I can pull it up real fast. And then I can screen share that. So, okay. All right, so here's the website. You're gonna go right into programs. On the right, you're just gonna see youth. So you're gonna head down AMHA Teams program. It's gonna give you a little brief blurb. Your program guide, you click that. It's gonna give you the whole guide. You can print it out if you'd like. Pretty much everything I just told you in the beginning part. It has your quarterly deadlines in there. Those are gonna change on this thing because we did change the sign up dates. And this is most of your how many points per thing. So if you, every time you complete the figure badge, it's 5 points. If you complete the bull rush badge, it's 10 points. It gives you a really good breakdown of how many points per task, if you will. So this individual points, so this is how the kids can earn points by doing things on their own. If they're a council member, the merit thing, the youth contest participation, this is still all individual horse shows. So if they place top 6 at a class, if they just show any class, 5 points. They work as a groom, as a barn. I know a lot of the teenagers do that. They can get 20 points for doing that. But I mean, there's some restrictions. So make sure it's 5 full days and the trainer signs, and we have that proof just so we know that it's not all willy-nilly. The medal program, team participation, and stuff around the barn. A lot of stuff around the barn, even if they go to a camp or if they volunteer at a camp. We tried to hit all aspects of all ages and what they'd be doing. So ribbons of service, so if they're part of that, they get points. Promotion in the school, so that's all the points included there. And then your team is a point accumulation, general team meetings, community service, breed promotion, kind of what we all just went through. And this is the application, and I can show you where you get it, just the application in a minute, but super simple to fill it in. The easiest way is probably just to email it to me, because I'm in New Hampshire and the office is in Kentucky. So if you send it to Kentucky, they just send it to me via scan anyway. So the fastest way is email. I was going to start giving my home address out, but they frowned upon that. So this is where we're at there. So if we go back to here, so here's your application just as is, and you can actually fill it out right on there. It's a fillable form, and send it right to me. Okay. And your logs, these are also your logs. So team member log, individual log, so you can put your points in those. And like I said, if you find, you're probably going to need more than one sheet, obviously, per kid, per quarter. But as you move forward and you find it difficult, I have some cheat sheets. And if you have better ideas, I'm into that. We are sort of looking into doing maybe a Google Doc for it. I need to kind of look into that a little bit more. So as we, like I said, it's kind of a brand new program. So as we innovate, we will make things a little easier for you. Oh, sorry, I didn't mean to do that. Oops. I'm gonna go back to sharing that. And I lost the whole page, so how am I doing? There we go. All right, let me go back to sharing. So we're back on the website. And that's the same thing. So you need an individual team member point log, it's there, the regular team point log. I'm gonna go back in and change those dates, probably tomorrow morning. And these are the list of last year's clubs. We just kind of put them in as teams. We do need them. They would need to re-register yearly anyway with us to even keep their club. So I've reached out to everybody. If anyone's on here, let me know. I know, Andrea, you're on here. And so isn't Christina, but the rest of everybody, they're not, they have to re-sign up anyway. So we'll just explain that as we go. All right. Any more questions? Moving
What
forward.
was the deadline again for the registration?
We're saying January 31st. I can be lenient. Okay. The problem is, so points will start technically January 1st, and you can, if you become a team and you just don't get your application until later, just keep track of your points as you're moving, and we can backlog them until January 1st to make it fair for everybody.
Okay.
Any questions from anybody else? Christina, did you want to put any input of how it worked for you so far? Are you still there? No. Okay. Oh, there
we go. Am I unmuted?
Yes.
For our kids, it was really good and they were excited about it. And girls, I know at least 2 of you are on here. I don't know who the iPad is. That might be Grayson. And Gretchen and Addie can chime in if you guys have something. But it did motivate them. You know, it happened during the pandemic, the beginning of it, so they were at our barn a lot during that time. I think the most challenging part was helping them keep track of their points. We had a chalkboard for a while, and then, you know, it's just not all the kids were at the barn on the same days, and paperwork and printing, and I didn't have a printer at the time. You know, it was just kind of scattered at the beginning, and we kind of goofed around with different ways to, and I think the challenge was when we sent them in the first time, you couldn't read them. We had scanned them or taken pictures of the page and emailed them, and they were not readable. So that, I think, from our standpoint, was the most challenging part. But a few of the things, the kids are like, oh, 1 point for a stall, you know, and it takes 20 minutes. I don't know if you ever cleaned a thoroughbred broodmare stall, but they poo like elephants do. But anyway, so the girls are like, oh my gosh, it's only 1 point, but it's 5 points to clean a horse trailer out. So hey, you know. And I think there might be some growth. I don't know on the committee what you all talked about, maybe some other things. I don't know what the other clubs do. Our group is, I wouldn't say like a 4-H club, but they do come to the barn. I think you have a couple, you know, clubs that are like that do barn days, the old school type. And there might be some other things we can add in there. And then my other question to you is the Ribbons of Service program. Like for that, for UPHA, on our end, we're all pretty much primarily Western. So there isn't a lot of reason for my kids to go do a UPHA membership. I'm not even a UPHA member because it doesn't benefit me. I'm not a professional trainer in that realm. And I would go and spend my money with the American Ranch Horse Association or something like that, and the NMRHA and the National Reining Horse. So to continue to add another one on top of it and to ask our parents for yet another, you know, Ribbons of Service. I don't know if there's a way to include more of the Morgan barns in that type of program, because I think a lot of your kids.
It was,
you know,
so it's not something you have to do. We did include it because we do try to tie in a lot of the programs. But where you are, NRHA, all that kind of stuff, that counts too. It says on there other breed memberships, other affiliations. So those actually do count as points as well. So it kind of replaces your UPHA there. As for Ribbons of Service, we did include it. I can't really take it out of that part was actually out of my control. So
I love that you put that in there, but it's just like maybe down the road we can expand within AMHA. I don't know what we can do, but it's just alienating in a way an entire group of kids that do totally different riding, because it's not. Yeah,
I'm with you, and I do feel like that's been an ongoing discussion for Ribbons of Service and that kind of stuff. Which I think it kind of is.
I love the program, and we've looked at doing it, but like I said, now I'm asking for another membership fee, and I'm like,
no, I get it. I totally get it. Yeah, I get it. It's just, it's in there for now. If you have another program that your kids are a part of, that's a horse related thing, and anybody, I mean, on here that runs a team, and you say, oh, my kids are really part of this, and I don't know about everything across the country. There's a lot of things that happen that we have no idea what's going on. So if you find something, like I said, you really think it's a great idea, I'm sure we can add it in with a little bit of research to make sure it is a good fit for this program. And like I said, if there's stuff that we don't think of that you think that people should earn points for, send me an email. Okay. I'm up for improving this or adding to it to make everybody happy. Like I said, we're trying to get everybody from backyard barns to top show barns. And it doesn't hurt to get different barns involved into one team. You know, we're looking for like camaraderie and teamwork. And I just think we're trying to hit all aspects. And a lot of inspiration, and I'll give you a little story. We had a girl here, and it kind of sucks because she still stinks because she can't be part of a team because she was in the middle of nowhere. But she kind of inspired it a little bit because she'd call me all the time and she'd say, I have no internet. I'm in the middle of, she was in like Piedmont, North Dakota. I don't know where she was. She was far away, but she didn't have a computer. She didn't have anything. So we were trying to figure out, you know, how do we get a program that's for people like her who just do backyard trail riding stuff with their horse, and a program for people who, you know, are at the top Morgan barn in the facility and all they do is show, and they don't, you know, they tap their horse on the nose twice a week and go home. I want everybody to kind of have equal opportunity to be part of this program.
Okay, yeah, no, that makes sense. And so with that, with kids that are kind of on their own, is it possible we could be more interactive, like create a place where the kids, well, it would be older kids because if you did it on Facebook, but to keep the momentum going and like what's going on, and you know, I don't know, not to make it a competitive thing, but just to make it more like up in front of them more often. And
do you want me to make like a team's Facebook page and include everyone on that? Because I certainly can do that.
I mean, we could do that, or do it, you know, make a post and say, hey, how's everybody doing, instead of having another page, because they are kind of hard to get, I'll keep track of. Make a post and say, how are our teams doing out there? And kids could just respond to it, you know, just maybe give each other ideas and who's out there on their own, and what are y'all doing out there, or incorporate them on another team. Like we talked about having Cassidy more on our team from, you know, because she didn't really have a club, but then their barn got it together, I think. But we were like, we'll throw Cassidy on our team. You know, she can, we did Zoom calls, you know, she is still part of everything we were doing, and just stick her on our team. So if you had a kid that was by themselves, maybe, you know, put them on a team that wouldn't put the team to the next bracket per se, because, you know, you don't want them to change their model, but maybe something like that if they, you know, just to keep the,
absolutely. And that's why also too, like I've been trying to keep track of the teams on the website. And actually the teams are going to go in the newsletter for February 1st if everyone signs up. So that way, if someone is looking for a team, they're not part of a barn, they can head right to the website and see what state they're all located in, if they're near them, who to contact, like the leaders of that team, that kind of stuff. Same thing as a contest kind of idea. Make sure everyone gets near each other and reaches out. And we're trying to be a lot more Facebook friendly, or I guess internet friendly in total, and like be more in tune with people all the time and get their feedback and go from there.
Yeah. Girls, do you have anything to say? You always are talking, I'm sure you do. Speak up. You know what, can I ask one
when it comes to the
sorry.
For the team leader membership, can it be the $40 membership, or does it have to be the $70 membership?
No, it can be the small. You just have to be a member of AMHA. It doesn't need to be fancy. Just an AMHA number. I'm not looking for. Nope, we're not going to ask you to do that. Who am I talking to, by the way, just so I know?
Sylvia from the Ozark Morgan Club.
Yes, I talked to you on the phone yesterday. Yep. Okay. Hi.
Yeah. Because I did speak to someone today. She does not have Morgans. She loves them. She would love to have Morgans, but she's got kids that she works with and horses of every description. To pay a lot of money to be an AMHA member, because she would have no reason to be if it wasn't that I asked her to be a youth leader. Mm-hmm. So that's why I wanted to make sure before I told her, oh, it's going to cost you how much, you know. Sounds good.
No, we're not asking for anything crazy. I'm actually going on the membership thing. I haven't looked at it in a while. I don't actually have a lot to do with membership in the thing. Oh yeah, there's a show membership, there's a registry member, there's all sorts of memberships. Yeah, no. I would say just the cheapest one you can find. I'm totally okay with that.
Okay, great.
Okay.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
Yeah. Andrew, I'm curious, because you've had a youth group for a long time. How do you feel about this, the change?
Well, yeah, myself, Sylvia, or somebody.
Actually, I was talking to Andrea, because I know that you haven't had a youth group yet. Okay. So we talked yesterday, but Andrea's had one for a long time.
I did in the last century. I just haven't had one recently.
Okay.
No, I really like it. Okay. And I find that because the majority of my group is like, they are show girls. And our group is very spread out. We're all like a couple hours away from each other.
Yep.
But I like this new format, because some of the girls aren't showing anymore, and then they're just kind of like helping out at the barns. And so I like this. I think this will include more girls, because we had some drop out over like this last year with COVID and everything, and they weren't showing, and so they're like, why bother?
Yep.
You know, so I think this is going to bring them back and like have fun with it.
Yep.
You know, but like all of the girls though, what I found the most enjoyable was that because we live so far away, and the girls would see each other at the shows, but before we really formed our group well, they didn't know each other. But now when they go to shows, they all know each other from all the different barns, and it's really cute to like see them supporting each other. They help
Yep.
each other get ready from other barns, and so, but I like the new program.
Awesome. I was glad. I was worried that the people who had clubs for a while were going to be upset that we changed it, but
No, it's perfect.
awesome. I'm going to do a couple shameless plugs while everybody's here before I ask for more questions. I just want to let you know too, when you start a team, you become part of the patch project. I don't know if any of you have seen part of that, but we also started that with each team program or each youth program that a child does or a youth does. They get literally a patch. I can show you. Don't mind my belly for a second. Okay. So you get a patch, whatever you do. So this one's like Youth of the Year patch. Goes on and whatever. So you'd get a team patch for every team member. It gets sent to you in the mail with membership cards and a certificate for your team itself saying that you're part of it. And then your names get sent to a state line. So then your gift certificates will be emailed to you. But with this patch project, it's kind of cool because we tied everything into the teams. When they do a contest, the way you get this one is you compete in the Grand Nationals, but when they do a merit, the first merit badge they put in, they get a patch and collect all 5 patches. It's kind of like fun thing. And we do sell a jacket that they can put their patches on. But if they do the Grand National, then they get the jacket, part of it. So kind of a cool thing to collect all your patches to be super part of the youth programs. So that's something we started as well. And also we put out, and this is not me trying to sell anything, but I'm actually just honestly excited about it. So I was in a youth group when I was a kid with Sarah Foy. I don't know if some of you know who she is, but she had created these playing cards out of construction paper, and they were parts of the horse or parts of the tack, and then the other card would have the name of it, and it was like a Go Fish or a memory game. And we actually took her cards and brought them to life. We actually sell card games now here. We created them. There's 132 cards per deck. We are selling them at AMHA pretty much for cost. They are travel sized, and there's 132 in a deck. That's the sideways view of the deck. And if these are successful, and I think they'd be great for clubs and for studying for youth contests and so many things. They're not Morgan specific, which is even better. And if they are a success, we're going to make bigger cards because these are kind of small. Whoops, first time going. And 2, we are going to make more like parts of the harness, bones, that kind of stuff. I think that would be really cool. And if you see, we also put for sale this week holiday gift boxes. And that first one, it's supposed to be a surprise gift box, but it's super educational because it has actually a deck of cards in it. It also will contain the figure, merit. It'll contain, I don't know if you guys remember when I was a kid, we had these books. They have parts of the horse and games and coloring, but it's all knowledge for your horses. It's 2 different kinds. So one of those will be in there. That's kind of fun to do in your clubs too, and a bunch of other stuff. So they're kind of educational gift boxes, if you will, but with a lot of fun. So that's kind of a neat idea for kids in your teams too. And I'm not trying to sell stuff. We made them because we thought they would be great for these kind of programs. So there's that. I had to put that in there only because I'm super excited about them, and that's what I do. Any other questions about this program and moving forward or anything?
I do actually.
Sure.
For the Youth of the Year patch,
yep.
You had mentioned they would get them for going to Grand Nationals.
Mm-hmm.
But what do you think if they even compete at the regionals to get one?
So here's the problem with that. If we gave one, because we thought about this one for a really long time, how do we do it? Because to do regionals and locals, I'm gonna be honest with you, there's up until this year, because like I said, I'm trying to keep better track. A lot of places don't give me the paperwork back, or if they do, after the contest is held, they give me the winner and the second, and that's it. I feel, and as a committee, we had felt that it was gonna be really hard to keep track of, like, what if they win twice? You can only get a patch once. You know what I'm saying? So this is kind of an attainable thing. We have anywhere between 15 and 20 kids go to Oklahoma in the past 3 or 4 years. And it's kind of good for them too, because they get the jacket. I don't know if you know that, but when they get there, they get a jacket for being in it. And it kind of just brings it all to accumulation that they've done all of the programs and they get to put their patch on their jacket, or you can purchase a jacket at the thing. But that was kind of where we went with that. I can bring it to the committee and ask them for like a reconsideration, if you will. But that was the best way we had thought about it at the time.
Okay, no, that makes sense. Yeah, because I guess, yeah, they do it like every year. I have some girls that do it every year, so that makes sense.
Yeah, there's a lot of repetitiveness to it, and this was the way we could figure to track it without doubling it up. Same with the medals. Like I watched the medal kids. I track them very carefully and then send it out at the end of the year. Any other questions? Was this helpful?
Yes,
Yay.
definitely.
Awesome.
Well, it has changed so much, and I haven't done it for 20 plus years. I think I told you yesterday on the phone, the kids that I took to Grand Nationals have kids now that should be going to Grand Nationals. So, you know, it has really changed. But I'm excited about getting another group started. Awesome. And yeah, and I think it looks like there's going to be more leadership from AMHA, which before I didn't feel like there was a lot. I mean, I belong to also a garden club, and I thought, wow, this garden club, and I just joined a couple of years ago. I thought they really have it together. No, I found out that there's this national group, and then the states have their own, and boy, does the national organization feed back to the little organizations and all the clinics they have and seminars and whatnot. And I was thinking of this like, wow, I wish we had that kind of feedback from AMHA. Granted, I mean, they probably have 100,000 people that are involved in this, and we have 1,000 people, or, you know, whatever it is. So, I mean, logistically, it's not the same number-wise of people, but yeah, more feedback from AMHA or direction, maybe not feedback, more direction. And this is how it works best. And so I think this looks really good.
Awesome. We're trying here. So we didn't actually have a devoted youth person for a long time. So we just, I don't know. And I probably did the contest with your kids at the Grand Nationals, and I've always been really into this program, and I've always been a little part of it. And now I'm almost 40 and still doing the same thing with flashcards. But you just kind of have to, I think I'm the first youth person who's actually been through the program and then been on this side of it too. So that might be a little helpful in the long run as well, because I love this program. So like I said, and we're also open to any feedback. Once I get moving forward, let me know what works and what doesn't. And I'm willing for a change and improvements. So there's that.
Now, if I understand correctly, we need to be, the club itself needs to be registered by the end of January, you know, hopefully.
Or at least just send me that piece of paper with, yep. Go ahead.
Can we have kids join anytime during the year? You know, so a new kid comes to the barn in July. Can they join in July, or do they have to wait till January?
No, they can. Just keep in mind as your team leader, I mean, I want everyone to join. I just remember that if you get beyond, if you have, you know, 10 kids on and then 2 kids come and want to join, you're now moving into your medium team section. So we'll take all your points and move them up,
Right.
But you'll be upping the game on that. So just be aware doing that. But of course, I'm not going to say nobody can join. That's terrible.
Okay. Sounds good.
Okay. Alex, was this helpful for you? I know we've been talking on the phone too. Is this helpful for you as well? Something changed, but nothing changed.
I have a question, if that's okay, Christina. So if we have a kid join the club like in month 2 of one of the quarters, can we add them to the team at that point?
You can just send me the paperwork, just so I have their records. Absolutely.
Okay.
Kate, were you thinking of starting one as well?
Hi, yes. Sorry, I had you on mute. I was doing barn chores. I just finished teaching lessons.
Totally get it.
So Jim Sebring and I actually just launched our own barn January 1st.
Congratulations.
So, thank you. It's really exciting. But obviously a lot of things going on. But I have a great group of kids that you know, have just been riding for like a year or two, and they're just starting to think about showing. But like every weekend they're in the barn helping, and they help me get lesson horses ready. And so I think this might be a really great program to get them involved in. But I never did Youth of the Year when I was a kid, so it
Yeah.
all seems a little overwhelming.
Don't be overwhelmed. I can walk you through whatever you need to know moving forward. I promise. I'm here a lot, so you can call, text, whatever you need to do.
Okay, awesome.
Okay.
That's great. Yeah, as I'm listening to everyone, it sounds like it would be something that my kids would be really excited about.
Oh, I'm so glad. Okay, yay. I'm actually really excited this many people showed up tonight. I'm not gonna lie. This is awesome.
Good. It's nice when you can be surprised that way instead of the
Yes,
other way where you think a lot of people are going to show up and they don't.
Yeah, at like 6:58, I was like, "Ooh, is it gonna be me? Is it gonna be all me?" Okay. Okay. Any more questions from anybody? Did we cover everything? Okay. Awesome. Well, thank you guys for coming. I really appreciate it. And any questions moving forward, email me anytime, call me anytime, and we'll fix it the best we can. Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you so
Thanks,
much.
guys. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.